it doesn't work out.
Mm.
And that's why it's so painful too when we hear Black men say those things about us. Like, let me just be real right now, because like you said, Ham, you brought this up. Most Black women take a lot of crap from Black men, and some don't, right? And so it's like we take so much stuff from Black men. So why do they have so much negative things to say about us? And that's like, I honestly don't understand that. I don't even know if y'all really do. But like, how do you, not you personally, but how do you talk so bad about Black women that hold you down and stay longer than we probably should, and bringing on trauma to ourselves because we have that innate, strong, undeniable love for you? Why do y'all do that? How do y'all do that? And then talk reckless about us afterwards. That's
Well, I think
crazy.
most people date within their race, so a lot of women are leaving. But I think overall, I think there's a lot of weight being put on that, like hold us down and build us up and all that shit. Where I don't know if that's the role y'all should be playing. I think you played it for a while, but it's time out for it.
I
But if we
agree.
gonna continue, sorry, go ahead, bro.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
that's why I said by time, especially if we get older, I think we get exhausted. And so when we, like, exactly like you said, I think we put so much energy in our younger years to be there and play a role that we're just not meant to play. We're just not meant to play that role. We're not their mothers. You know what I'm saying?
I want to know from a Black man, maybe Ham, you can answer this because I had to ask a real question.
Uh-huh.
Why do Black men talk so bad about Black women when we
Wh-
really stay because we truly love you?
what do we say about you guys?
We don't care about your education.
You
Y'all
got
are
too much mouth, you
angry.
got an
That's
attitude.
that's all men though, saying that to all women. So what do we say
Mm-mm.
about you guys?
I said we got too much attitude, we got too much mouth.
We're all
We don't
angry.
know,
We're
we're
controlling and
angry.
possessive.
Not
Okay,
feminine
so let's
enough.
break it down. Do Black women have too much mouth?
The mouth come the yes, the mouth comes though
Hold on, Asia.
when situations.
Hold on.
He wants to answer yes or no.
Let it, and you can expound, but let it marinate. Isha, we went to school together. Do Black women have too much mouth?
No, I'm just saying. I think Black women are taught to stand up for themselves, and because we have to, we're taught to be strong. So that might come with a little bit of attitude, a little bit of mouth. Yeah, we do.
What if I were to tell you guys, Dana, somebody taught you guys incorrectly?
I would ask you to go on and
Well,
expound on that a little bit.
so we're millennials, right?
Yeah.
Some of us on the tail end. Um, our generation, the men, right? We'd have these conversations all the time, but our generation overall, the men are doing a lot better than the Generation Xers. So then you guys were raised by Generation X women, right? With some of those ideas, notions, and constructs that they dealt with. So now you guys perpetuate that, but it's unnecessary now, right?
I
So let's.
I understand what you're saying. I disagree though, because I don't know about everybody else on the panel. And I only say this specifically not to split hairs, but because we were having the conversation last week about Gen X's and how there was a shift with Generation X, right? I wasn't raised by Gen X. I was raised by baby boomers. So there's
Okay.
it's a different generation. It's the
What
generation.
year is that?
My parents are 64 and 65. They were born in 58 and 57.
It's right on the cusp, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on the cusp. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But I don't know. I don't share that same experience. Maybe I'm the wrong person to ask this particular question because I don't share that experience with the struggle love and the fighting and the teaching the survivorship as a way of life because we don't necessarily know any other way or we have to do it per se. I didn't grow up like that. I wasn't exposed to that, and I wasn't raised in struggle. I
I
wasn't
got
raised
you.
having to fight for affection or for acceptance or any of those things.
Nay. Oh damn. You made a good point, Dana. It gave me another question, but I had it. Do you think that like the strong black women thing? Do you think it's like majority true, or do you think we live on talking points? We have men on our panel who can recite talking points well, and you guys probably know who I'm talking about from others, and they sound true and they sound good. I know a lot of talking points myself. But are we just saying these things? Like, is it actually happening to the majority of black women where they got to stand by themselves and do this, that, and the third?
Do you think that we're taught to be strong? Do we have to stand by ourselves?
Or are we just standing on talking points? Like, what if we reassessed?
I'm trying to understand what you mean by that.
I knew it was gonna get a little cloudy for you.
I'm trying to understand what you mean by that.
You my man's though. Well, just like so when you hear things and see things, right, and you keep hearing them repeated over and over, and then the people that are repeating them look like you, sound like you, had some similar experiences to you, then you live in that. That's where stereotypes come from. There's some truth to them, but again, I think black people, like for instance, watermelon, right? We all love watermelon, but the truth is, depending on okay, a couple of niggas up here all of a sudden don't like watermelon. But for the 99% of niggas like watermelon, I'm talking to y'all. So when you go out into a field, right? Because you did field work even after slavery, right? You know, you have water, things of that nature, but you can't maintain it. Plus it dries up, so on and so forth. If you eat a watermelon, I mean, it's what is it? It's like 90% water. So you can literally hydrate yourself. So it was more so for necessity. Right, but now we perpetuate the stereotype of loving watermelon. So that's my point. Are we living in these stereotypes, or are they actual at this point in the United States of America?
I don't even think it's the stereotype anymore. I feel like black women are changing that narrative, and they're rejecting the narrative of the strong black woman, because that has been our history for so long, and it's been damaging to us, to our mental health, to our to our very being. And so we are saying that we don't want to be the strong black woman anymore. We want to be able to express our feelings. We want to be able to emote without being judged, without being crucified, without being chastised, without being called names by black men, white men, or whomever. So I think that it's the polar opposite, and we're totally rejecting it and trying to appear to the masses to be the human beings that we have been this entire time.
Okay, so Mary, you agree with what Dana said?
Yeah, I feel like now
Do
more than
you? I had a 2-part. Do you denounce all those Beyonce songs of the early 2000s? Then
what songs on
Independent, and you come on, all the single. I mean, come on.
No, I mean I never really cared for the song, so
I hesitated asking you because I knew it was not. I knew you were gonna damn.
How am I derailing? Like I mean,
get him out of here.
Come on, let me put myself in the back room for a second. Let me put myself in the back.
Get him out of here. Come on.
So I knew you want. Okay.
I'm telling you, I agree with Dana. That means that I don't give a fuck about the songs. Like I don't know where the confusion is.
Listen here,
Yes,
Boosie's song "Independence," the woman that was my song.
you denounce
Now
it.
to this day, I denounce it because I don't want to be independent no more. Okay, I don't want to hear me. I don't want my own.
That was actually Webby, but yeah. All right, go ahead, Mary.
But yeah, like I agree more than ever. I feel like it's to the point where we realize it's not our story. You know, it could have been our parents' story, the people before that, but we're realizing that it's not ours and it's not a necessity. I think that's where I messed up initially in the beginning part of my life, is thinking that it was a necessity, something I had to do, but that can very easily change with who you come across, the man that you're with, the man that you marry, like, you know, that can easily change. So it's nothing to be like, oh, like I think Aisha said on one show, like nobody wants to be just independent and single and just living life for the rest of their life like that. So I feel like now more than ever, that's the standard is changing. Like more women are like, hey, like, yeah, I don't fuck this independent shit.
Gotcha. So, Is being married or with somebody the goal?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Tay?
Not necessarily for me, but I do, get the point to, because okay, so as an adult, I had to unlearn and relearn some things because I grew up a certain way. I was, things were poured into me, and I learned those things. They were me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I had a shift in my mental and I realized that everything that they taught me was just because somebody taught them, and that I had to learn my own way, then that changed things for me. So, I did grow up as a strong Black woman because my mother was a strong Black woman, and I was raised, by strong Black women, but I also had strong Black men in my life. It wasn't my dad necessarily, but I had other strong Black men to look, up to, and who mentored me and who helped guide me through life. So, I mean, I don't think it's something that, like you were saying, it is something that we kind of, I think people stand on as talking points. But I do think it's necessary to do the work and to actually unlearn some of those things that were taught to us, and stop doing the things just because we were taught them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.